just about ready for the 7th meeting between these two programs since they both entered the Pac-12 here at Rice-Eccles Stadium. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous night, unseasonably warm. You take a look at what happened last week, the heartbreak for the Utes, who have lost now 6 of their last 7. This is with 28 seconds left. They called a timeout, Petros, and so Washington decided to try and win the game.
Kyle called a timeout. Coach Whittingham trying to get Washington just to execute and take a knee. But Chris Peterson said, okay, we'll throw the ball downfield. And Jake Browning worked a little magic. 2 big completions. Washington gets a kick in a game that Utah was controlling. They lose and don't even get the chance in overtime in Seattle. Another heartbreaking loss for the Utes this year. And Coach Whittingham knows what that's like. They've had a few.
The urgency on the bowl. He has been to a bowl game in 10 of his 12 seasons. You include the game he coached in place of Urban Meyer, 10-1 as a bowl coach. Meanwhile, for Mike McIntyre, trying to do something that hasn't been done in over a decade in Boulder, which is appear in back-to-back bowl games, coaching, as you see, in his 100th game, coming off a Pac-12 South title last year. So, Colorado won the toss and deferred. Utah will have the football first. Damari Simpkins is back deep as Davis Price is set to kick away and start off what is a do-or-die night here in Salt Lake. And Simpkins is going to let this fly, and so the Utah offense is going to come on the field as a late flag comes in. Flags everywhere, in fact. Terry Lydon is our referee.
Interesting.
After that play, personal foul, correction, unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 40 of the receiving team is first of the game. Half the distance to the goal. First down, Utah.
Ali'i Niumatalolo with the penalty. Let's see if we can see 40.
So it's a touchback. Usually you're happy when there's a touchback because you don't have to hit anybody. But just a little overzealousness, just a little excited to start the game after the whistle, a late hit, and Utah starts backed up with Troy Williams at quarterback. Kyle Whittingham still trying to get an explanation.
So it'll begin from the 12. And it will be Zach Moss on first down. And he will get swallowed up. Drew Lewis is there along with Malumba for the stop. And so what a year it's been for Troy Williams, Pete. He was named the captain less than a week before the season. Just days later found out he wouldn't be the starter for his senior season. And yet, with Huntley hurt, he has gotten some opportunities, and here he is starting on senior night.
Yeah, interesting turn of events for him in his career, but he has been a class act throughout the year, handling everything.
Here he is on play action, finding Darren Carrington, and not fooled the defense. Evan Worthington is there for the stop.
Well, you know, Colorado's defense lost a lot of guys from last year's team. A lot of those guys playing in the NFL. The buff back that time, Evan Worthington, chasing down Carrington and making sure he didn't get down the field. But I like the call for Utah, trying to find ways to get Troy Williams comfortable, move him, short passing, things of that nature.
So a 3rd down and 7. Williams with a blitz coming, and he throws complete. Damari Simpkins a first down to the 25-yard line. A 9-yard pickup.
You can see Troy Williams relieved to get that second downfield pass out of the way and record a first down after the penalty. Damari Simpkins, kind of a Swiss Army knife of a player. That's what his offensive coordinator, Troy Taylor, describes him as. They've had some trouble, the Utes, developing outside receivers over the years. But that time, Troy Williams stands in and is able to deliver.
Remember the backup today, Cooper Bateman has never thrown a pass here at Utah. There's Troy McCormick just into the game. Very close to and should have the first down. Afo Laguda finally ran him out after a pickup of 11.
They're doing a good job mixing up their personnel here in the early onset of the game. Troy McCormick Jr. is the fastest back that Utah has, and they find a good way to get him out in space. Nice blocking on the edge from Damari Simpkins there, locking up a defender. That's enough for a first down, and Utah's playing pretty quick.
So a drive that started with a penalty is now moving out across the 35. There is Moss grinding for 2 yards. Chris Malumba with the tackle. Petros, what's to watch for tonight?
Well, we saw the first catch of the game went to Darren Carrington. There he is. You know, he transferred from Oregon. He is one of the more versatile and explosive players Utah has had out on the edge catching the ball in a long time, but he has been beat up. And on the other side, we talked about all the guys that Colorado lost in their secondary. One guy they kept is Isaiah Oliver. Now, he has been hurt, but man, has he been impactful when he's in there.
Here's Moss weaving his way out towards the 45 to bring up third down and short. The captain, the senior Derek McCartney on the tackle. On that last play, it was your two guys, Isaiah Oliver and Darren Carrington, matched up at the top as the play went left.
And if Carrington is healthy, I would expect Isaiah Oliver to go with him almost everywhere he goes to stay in man coverage with that one player.
It'll be the safety of Olabi Laguda lined up in the slot to the top against Carrington right now as Moss, the running back, comes to the bottom. Two tight ends, and Williams running behind them for the first down.
Now, this is a great equalizer for the Utah offense, is running the quarterback. And if Tyler Huntley can't go, who is the more explosive runner, Troy Williams is going to be able to do it. He is also very effective with his legs. When you run that quarterback, you run the risk of the guy getting hurt, obviously. Utah starter is out. But at the same time, you really do even things up for the offense, allowing for an extra blocker to find more lanes inside the line of scrimmage. That time, very successful for Troy Williams. Nice play call.
And now a first down into Colorado territory. And Williams is going to throw against a four-man rush. Lofts it for Singleton, and it's broken up. Isaiah Oliver got a hand in.
They're keeping Oliver down on the right side defensively, and he's just taking on all comers there. Versus Singleton, you see some hand fighting. Pretty nice throw. Troy Williams gave him a good chance to catch that ball. A little bit of contact, but nothing bad. Good defense by Isaiah Oliver.
Well, you know, Singleton has the spotlight on him. He caught 2 touchdowns against Washington with Carrington banged up last week in the loss. 2nd and 10. This is McCormick around the edge. Not a lot of space for him. Worthington nearly got him, and then Laguda cleans up. A 3-yard pickup.
There's a lot of tackles this year for Laguda. 60 plus coming into this game, doing a good job of tracking down McCormick, scraping over the top. And you can see early in the game, Troy Taylor, in his game plan, has got a lot of end-around action or fly sweep action to McCormick. And we saw Moss run one on the first play of the game.
Already 2 third-down conversions on this drive. Another 3rd and 7. Williams under pressure, and Drew Lewis brings him down for the sack and a loss of 10 yards. Make that 13 yards. What a play by the speedy linebacker.
And here's Williams dropping back, doesn't see it, and just a delayed blitz, kind of a green dog move, we would call that, by Drew Lewis, the junior. Over 100 tackles on the year for him and more activity in the backfield, forcing a punt from quite simply the greatest punter in the world.
Here he is, the defending Ray Guy Award winner, and maybe we'll get it a 2nd year in a row. This ball is hanging and finally goes out of bounds. We'll see where this gets marked at the 22-yard line, a 33-yard punt. And so a drive that started deep in their own territory doesn't result in points, but it flips the field position. The Buffs offense on the field for the first time next. Buffs offense for the first time. Tell us what to watch for when they're on the field, Petros.
Well, there he is, the quarterback, Steven Montez. Big, tall, fast, and strong, still developing. And, of course, defensively, you got Lotulelei for Utah, one of the strongest defensive linemen in the country.
Throwing on first down, and that pass is broken up. Julian Blackman, Shea Fields, who was concussed against USC 2 weeks ago, the intended receiver. There is the man you're looking for.
Yeah, 4-year starter. Utah prides themselves, Guy, on their inside play of the defense, the front 7, and that's why guys like Julian Blackman are out there one-on-one. Asked a lot of the corners over the years, has Kyle Whittingham, and they have delivered, especially Blackman.
Second down for Montez, who throws complete to Bryce Bobo, having a great year, eludes a defender, and then Corian Ballard is there to stop him after a pickup of 5 yards. And we saw Colorado convert so often on third down. Now it's going to be we saw Utah convert. Now it's Colorado's turn. There's a good crowd.
Nice warm night here in Salt Lake. Everybody's out here in Bermuda shorts.
Philip Lindsay stands beside Montez as Ross goes in motion. Montez, a bullet, and it's dropped by Bobo. The team leader in receptions with an uncharacteristic miscue.
Montez was pretty clean in the pocket there, was able to step up and really deliver that ball. Like you said, Guy, he put a little extra on it, but just Bobo could not come down with it. Maybe a little bit behind him, but it did go off his hands, and that is a 3-and-out for the Buffs. Utah getting the ball back.
Booby Hobbs will return this off the foot of Alex Kinney. Hobbs returned a punt for a touchdown in the meeting last year between these two. A line drive, and with Hobbs backing up, he mishandles, now picks it up at the 20. And finally gets pulled down by Bo Bisharat, the special teams ace and backup linebacker. And the Utes with much better starting field position. Cal Whittingham's offense on the field for the second time. FS1 College Football is sponsored by Best Buy. Open this last. And by Wendy's Fresh, Never Frozen Beef Hamburgers, the official hamburger of the NCAA. Just a gorgeous night, a beautiful week in Salt Lake City as Troy Williams back onto the field for the second time in place of the injured Tyler Huntley, who did not start, did not dress initially for this game. Zach Moss stretching it behind Harrison Hanley's block, a first down. Worthington finally brings him down after a pickup of 17 yards. That's the man you wanted him to feed.
Yeah, he's got to get the ball and do more of that. Take it to the defense, going vertically right at them with his helmet and shoulder pads. Watch Moss make the decision, put his foot in the ground there, and then just take it right up the field. Good blocking. They create a little bit of a lane for him, and then finishes the run with power.
And then hurry to the line of scrimmage, and Moss again sticking a nose. And Troy Williams, the quarterback, had his face in there as well, and a good pickup on first down of 6 yards. Rick Gamboa, the captain on the defense, with the stop. And let's check in with Greg Wolf in LA with a grain break.
Guy, thanks. Number 21, Stanford, of course, headed to the Pac-12 title game if UW can hang on against Washington State over on Fox, facing Notre Dame. And this is the first play from scrimmage, second half. Brandon Wimbush finds Equanimous St. Brown, 75 yards for the score. It's all tied at 17 in the third. Guy, Petros, back to you.
All right, Greg. Here is Troy Williams complete to Moss out of the backfield. What a great year he's had catching the football. Still on his feet and down to the 25-yard line. Drew Lewis finally ends the run after a pickup of 25.
Well, Troy Taylor's having a heck of a game to start out with the calls, really doing things to make Troy Williams comfortable. They had three first downs in the opening drive, but they stalled after a sack. They're getting it going now with Moss, and DJ Elliott, the D coordinator, told us they have had a lot of trouble tackling big backs, and you saw that there on the run with Moss. He did a great job.
He already has 61 yards of total offense. This is Devontae Henry Cole sidestepping Lewis and falling forward near a first down, and he should have the first down just inside the 15.
Colorado has struggled this year a whole bunch against the run. It's not the personality of what Coach McIntyre wants his team to be, but they've replaced a lot of guys on that defense, 8 or 9 starters, and it's still a glaring problem.
Another carry for Devontae Henry Cole, reversing field and losing ground. Afolabi Laguda. And a loss of 1. We talked to Troy Taylor this week, Petros. They really struggled last year in the red zone. They struggled early this year in the red zone. He felt like they've been better lately.
Now, they've scored a lot of touchdowns in the red zone recently. You see there, 11 of 18 That's pretty good in the last 5 games. And they also have an excellent kicker, which changes the way they call plays in Matt Gay. And Huntley's development was a big part of that and his ability to run as we have a Colorado Buffalo down.
It is Chris Malumba, the junior from Finland. And the way that Utah's been running the ball, and you see him kind of describing what's happening there, but the way Utah's been running the ball, Colorado can ill afford to lose anybody up front. I'm certainly hoping that Malumba is okay as he walks off. And we'll step aside. It'll be a second down for the Utes when we return. So with a little help, Malumba walked off, coming off his best game against USC. Just got tape on that left ankle. Now putting the sock back on, so perhaps he will try and return. Meanwhile, a second down and 11 for Utah's offense, with Zach Moss taking the pitch from Troy Williams and finding some space to deliver a blow and stay on his feet for the touchdown. Well, you said he runs hard.
That's one of the most punishing runs I've seen this year from anybody. Zach Moss taking that pitch and then just taking it up into the line of scrimmage with no regard for anything and running right through the Colorado defense all the way to the house, and we have a Ute down around the 15-yard line.
It was Nick Fisher who tried to meet Moss. Meanwhile, that's the freshman Brian Thompson, the true freshman, who they are very excited about. And one thing that is a demand on this Utah offense, the wide receivers must block. And obviously a physical play all around. 8th touchdown of the year for Zach Moss. We've had now back-to-back plays with players limp off.
Now you're going to see it on the right side. There he is, just engaged in a blocking, and the leg buckles under him, the right leg. And even if you're not hurt on that play, it can be very scary. Let's hope Thompson is okay. In the meantime, Utah's really got it going. They have 6 first downs before that touchdown. Colorado's only run 3 plays.
And meanwhile, here is Matt Gay, who has not missed an extra point this year. The Lou Groza Award finalist, splits the uprights. And so Utah, without a starting quarterback, Tyler Huntley, picking up where they left off, and Zach Moss rolling the first score of the game. Utes lead 7-0. Winner of this game becomes bowl eligible, and Zach Moss just gave the Utes an early leg up with an incredible touchdown run. 6 plays, 73 yards. 63 yards just for the sophomore on that drive. And so this is the first return, but it won't be one. Let's take another look at that touchdown, Petros.
Really, really impressive. Nick Fisher came up and tried to, the strong safety, half step in there and make the play. You can't half step against a guy like Zach Moss, especially when he's feeling it like he is in the early onset of this game. 7 touches and 76 yards already, and the touchdown for the back. And Coach Mack knows that they've got to do a better job tackling big, violent backs. They've had an issue with that all year long. Let's see if Montez can get the Buffs going. Only 3 plays, 3 and out, and that was that.
So Philip Lindsay, Colorado's answer to Moss, has yet to have a touch. We saw Moss on the field before the game. He looks like a bodybuilder.
He's getting better and better.
Montez with 14 on the play clock. First carry of the game for Philip Lindsay, and it's going just about nowhere.
But to me, that's how Colorado needed to start the game, Guy. They needed to get Philip Lindsay established. He's their best player. Steven Montez has had some issues calming down in games throughout the year. Philip Lindsay is this grounding force for the Buffs offense. They got to get him the ball more.
Juwan Winfrey, who had 2 huge plays, is at the bottom. Montez looking his way. And now finds him near the sticks. Winfrey coming back for a pickup of 8 yards.
That was good patience that time for Montez. He's had a little bit of trouble keeping with his progression this year because the guy can run really, really well, and he's fast. That time he flushed out, kept his eyes downfield, and completed the ball. Big third down here.
And they're going to go to Lindsey with it, and he escapes the pursuit, picks up a first, and gets out of bounds. Ballard finally got him out, and that is up near the 45-yard line, a pickup of 11 for the nation's leader in carries, 7th in the nation in rushing yards, 10th in yards per game.
I like what he saw there because he wanted to get into the A-gap, but he saw that soft edge and did not hesitate, went and got to the sticks.
And a little tempo for the Buffs as they hurry. And it's directly to Lindsey, who flips it around. Lavica Shenault breaks nearly away. And there is Hansen. Chase Hansen, the junior, been in and out of the lineup because of injury. Traveled to Washington, did not play last week. And we see his value.
They need Chase Hansen bad, the junior out of Highland, Utah. 45 tackles this year, even though he's been banged up. He's been a great leader, much more solid through the back half if they have him. Good recognition that time on the reverse, making the play, really minimizing the damage.
2nd down and 7. Pressure up the middle, picked up by Lindsey. Montez with Lotulelei right in front of him. Bullet throw, Jay McIntyre. Was he in? A flag and a hat. Somebody stepped out of bounds as well. Certainly is a first down with the yardage down to the 38.
McIntyre thinks he got the first down. Was he forced out of bounds, or did he go out and come back in of his own volition? Those are the questions being asked right now. Great job by Montez regrouping and getting that ball out.
Interference, number 4 of the offense. 15-yard penalty. First down will be repeated.
They called the pass interference on Bryce Bobo.
2nd down.
The redshirt senior, who, like you said, is having an unbelievable year for the Buffs. They have such a deep receiving core. There you see him on the right side of the screen, engaged there, and that's where you saw the hat come off. He was the one out of bounds. Not sure McIntyre caught that ball cleanly in bounds, but it doesn't matter with the pass interference call. Now Colorado way behind the sticks again.
2nd down and 22. They need to get across midfield and to the 46-yard line to pick it up. Chris Bounds, the H-back, and Montez is following him. He gets the block from him, breaks the tackle of Ballard, and he picks up 21 yards. Very close to a first down. Bradley Anae on the tackle.
Well, Guy, we talked about...
they might give him the first down.
I think he's going to get it. You know, we talked about how Utah uses the quarterback running the ball as an equalizer. Well, Colorado can do the same thing, and you got a guy like Steven Montez who's got a big arm, but he's also got great legs. And finding a way to keep him balanced between the two and working progression and looking downfield has been a challenge this year. That was an explosive run, and he showed some good hips.
Over 400 total yards of offense for Montez alone. 376 through the air last week, or 2 weeks ago in the loss to USC. Philip Lindsey, huge hole, another first down. Casey Hughes, Donovan Thompson ended that after an 11-yard pickup.
Both these backs are just going to go when they see it. Philip Lindsey saw a big hole. He tries to split the defenders there. Donovan Thompson ended up making the tackle, and one of the Utes ended up on the real bad side of that. That's Casey Hughes trying to get off the field. Looks like Philip Lindsey really rung his bell.
Well, he returns. He missed 2 weeks, got injured in that Washington State game, and he's shaking his head as he walks straight off the field. The third player to need assistance already in this game, and there's no question. When Kyle Whittingham and Mike McIntyre get together, it's going to be very physical.
Now, Utah's been like this for a long time. It took McIntyre a little bit of a while to develop what he wanted in Colorado, and basically what they've developed are teams that you have to beat toe-to-toe. You're going to have to beat them fair and square, and you're going to feel it on Sunday, regardless of whether or not you win or lose to the Buffs or the Utes. You feel it on Sunday that you played somebody very physical. Expect this game to be more and more physical as it continues.
Mike McIntyre's first recruit when he took over was Philip Lindsey, who made the goal, I'm going to play in every game, and he has so far. Here's Montez looking for him as he wheels down the field and throw. Instead, shoots it over the head of the H-back Chris Bounds. Kavika Luafatasanga in coverage.
Nice.
Second down. You thought the coverage was good?
No, I thought the pronunciation was better. The coverage was good, though. There's no doubt about it. They wanted Montez out on the other side to get the wheel route on the backside. Kind of a trick play call from Coach McIntyre's offense, but Philip Lindsay was covered up.
Second down. Montez pumps, more pressure. He's got Bobo, and he brings it in. Dropped it. Second drop for Bobo. Remember, he had a drop on the first drive of the game. Kenrick Young, as I was giving Bobo the catch, said, not so fast.
Well, 58 receptions going into the game for Bryce Bobo. He's been fabulous. And now because they called the pass on first down, they're in a third long situation.
Third down jump is on in the Muss. As the Buffs are driving or trying to drive down near the Utah student section. Devin Ross, the motion man, on 3rd and 10. Underneath it, it's batted down. No, sir, says Luafatasanga. And another third down stop.
Playing that rover linebacker position, Luafatasanga was just kind of reading the eyes of Steven Montez. He wanted to get Bryce Bobo on a drive route. You see him there, but Luafatasanga saw it, got up and knocked it down. God, I love these Utah names.
51-yard attempt coming here for James Stefano, the Lou Groza semifinalist. He's made 9 straight field goals this season. It's got the leg, but he yanked it left, and that breaks the streak of 9 in a row. Just his 5th miss of the season. So a better drive for the Buffs, but Kyle Whittingham's defense maintains.
The one thing they can look to is say, we've got our back going. He has been able to run the ball and get some space out there. Montez showed some patience getting the ball out. I think the play calling kind of stalled on him. They tried that wheel route. They thought they were going to get a touchdown, and then they got behind the sticks and weren't able to figure it out. Colorado's got 49 rushing yards on that drive, so they had some good bright spots, but the missed kick gives the ball right back to Troy Williams and Zach Moss, who's having a heck of a game so far.
And Moss is in the game beside Williams with Carrington in motion, and there's Moss again just pushing and pushing. The first contact just does not bring him down. Evan Worthington after a pickup of 5. Isaiah Oliver there with him. Moss, of course, the high school teammate of Tyler Huntley, not starting in this game, and Damari Simpkins, with 3 sophomores from Broward County who showed up and have brought some electricity to an offense this year that is 9th in the Pac-12 at 29 points per game, but they scored 30 on a Washington team last year you don't do that against. Here's Moss with another big carry, and Lewis brings him down by the back of the helmet, and so a flag comes down. Maybe got him on the nameplate too.
Drew Lewis trying everything he could just to get Moss down. And if you're not going to hit Moss until he's about 6 yards down the field, you're not going to have a lot of chances to tackle that guy.
Personal foul, grasping a helmet opening, number 20 of the defense. 15 yards from the end of the run, first down, Utah.
Never heard it said like that.
An opening in the helmet?
Opening. Well, here's the run from Moss. You see him coming over out of the shotgun, and the hole's right there. Nice blocking, kind of a zone scheme. And you see him go back of the helmet down.
The helmet opening.
Yeah, I guess there was an opening back there. Not a big one.
So all told, 20 yards plus 15, a 35-yard sequence. And here is Henry Cole, who gets upended. There is Lewis taking out a little aggression. But it's been a steady diet of Moss and Devontae Henry Cole.
And they've got McCormick going a little bit. All 3 backs have gotten touches to start this game. Really nice game plan from Troy Taylor. There's something on that edge for the Buffaloes that they really like, but a really physical finish there by Drew Lewis. Probably angry, like you said, after grabbing the opening in the helmet.
2 tight ends. In now, Hanley and Fakaloa Tonga for Utah. Instead, it's a throw. It's Carrington out of bounds, pulling down the defender Isaiah Oliver with him, and a flag lands where they were doing battle. Oliver saying, I was the one being interfered with.
Well, there was definitely a lot of contact on both sides, and you could tell what Utah wanted to do the second the ball was snapped. They liked that one-on-one matchup between Carrington and Oliver. Best receiver, best DB.
Pass interference, number 26 of the defense. The foul occurred in the end zone by where the ball is placed at the 2-yard line. First down.
What do you think?
I think Utah's going to run the ball now. But here's Oliver. He does initiate that contact, gets into the chest. He does do a good job of getting his head around, but just way too much contact to start. I like how he's trying to deny Carrington the room, but you got to give him a little more room than that.
Moss already with the touchdown. He's in the backfield.
Now this is interesting. Shotgun inside the 5.
With Handley, the tight end, now moving left. Here is Moss, and he is in. His second touchdown of the game. Oof. Ground and pound, and the Utes with a chance to make it 14-0.
Man, poor Derek McCartney. These guys are getting posterized. This is unbelievable. Moss is knocking these Colorado tacklers off him like they're Pop Warner players in this first quarter. And they're almost at 100 yards rushing already in the game.
He added 5 pounds of muscle in the offseason.
Jeez.
That's a powerful 5. Matt Gay, 2 of 2 on extra points, and still perfect on the season. Back-to-back drives of 66 and 73 yards. And Zach Moss doing a lot of the heavy lifting. Now with 9 touchdowns on the season and over 100 total yards in this game.
Here you see him just sliding over in the shotgun protection. Free tackler right on the goal line and does not have a chance. Does McCartney, not with the way Moss is running with power. That's just embarrassing. That's going to be tough to watch on tape.
Did you tape after the last game if there's not a bowl game?
If you're a senior, if you score a touchdown like that and you knock guys out like that, you're going to watch it way more than once. But that is an interesting question. If you don't go to a bowl game and you're not doing anything as far as practicing goes, that tape for the last game gets thrown away and no one ever sees it.
Where's your last game tape? Is that in the archives somewhere?
Notre Dame USC 2000.
K.D. Nixon bringing it out for Colorado. And he eludes 2 tacklers, stays in bounds across the 30. Henrik Young helps push him out. And it's time now for a game break. Greg Wolf, an update on the Apple Cup.
Yeah, Guy, thanks. 110th edition of the Apple Cup happening over on Fox. Myles Gaskin, he is elusive. 141 yards rushing tonight, 3 touchdowns. UW leads 34-0 third quarter. If they hang on, which seems likely, that means Stanford will face USC in the Pac-12 championship game. Back to you guys.
Wow, what a score. Thank you, Greg. Here's Montez. Jay McIntyre. This one without flags on the field. That's in bounds. A catch. Julian Blackman got over there after a pickup of 20 yards.
Montez looks better and better in this game, and he's been pretty sharp. He had Bobo with the drop on the last drive. That time he dropped it in right between the corner and the safety to Jay McIntyre. Nice touch.
And McIntyre held on, and now here's Philip Lindsay again, bouncing it and tripping up. Henniger might have been the man there. Let's take a look at that previous play and the catch from McIntyre.
Nice job with the footwork. That's a catch in the NFL.
Second down and 11 after the loss by Lindsay. Montez. Pressure. Tautioli in pursuit. And he will just heave this out of bounds. Out of the tackle box beyond the line of scrimmage.
Well, one thing that really impresses me about Montez as he develops as a player, only a sophomore, is he is 6'5". I mean, that's a 6'5" guy out there eluding defenders and finding a way to get his throw off. And that is not easy to do at that height. Very fast. If this guy can get consistent, he'll be one of the best quarterbacks in the conference.
Got himself in great shape this offseason, down to 225 pounds. Last play of the first quarter is a third down. Montez, a bullet too high for Winfrey. First down yardage, but they couldn't connect. And that's how the quarter will end. It's been all Utah and on the ground. A game that will send the winner into bowl eligibility and the loser home. One quarter in the books, and the Utes lead the Buffs 14-0 on FS1. Well, moments ago, Philip Lindsay holding his helmet and walking towards the Colorado locker room as the first quarter ended.
And that guy is a war daddy for Colorado. He doesn't go into the locker room unless it's pretty serious. He looks okay, and they haven't taken his helmet, but a very interesting development.
Meanwhile, a fourth down to start the second quarter. Alex Kinney spinning that one backwards. Booby Hobbs, the fair catch at just about the 12-yard line. A 35-yard punt. Take a look at our first quarter summary thus far, heavily in favor of the Utes.
Wow, look at that. 9-13. Really possessing the football, running the ball well. Moss is over 197 rushing yards for the whole team. Moss has been unbelievable. Check out Zach Moss and the physicality he brought to the first quarter of this game. Absolutely knocking over the Colorado defense like they're bowling pins. And they're kind of dressed like them tonight so far. Running over poor Nick Fisher. Taking it right down on top of the U. 2 touchdowns already.
Here's Troy Williams, and nowhere to go on first down, keeping the ball. A loss of 1. Devontae Henry Cole, the running back in the game right now. But we look at the numbers for Moss, 10 touches and 103 total yards. That is Bryce Love level per touch production.
That is, without the 80-yard run. Without the home run. Bryce Love, an unbelievable home run hitter and much more physical on the inside than I thought he could be, carrying the load this year for Stanford. Really impressed with him. We'll see if Zach Moss is that kind of back. He's having a heck of a back half of the year.
He motions out of the backfield. That ball deflected at the line of scrimmage by Nate Landman, the freshman from Northern California.
You know, it's interesting. You wonder if Utah should have just come out and run the ball and done what they're doing well. A little fancy with the quarterback. And once this Utah team gets behind the sticks, they really have trouble making it up. Basically, this is not Oklahoma State. They have a lot of trouble with 2nd and 15. This here, a 3rd and 11. Let's see what they can do.
Quarterback running in that last play from just outside their own 10-yard line. They need to get to about the 22. Williams, good pocket, wings it to Singleton. A first down. He got away from Dante Wigley, the sophomore quarterback, and a big 3rd down pickup.
Well, we talked about how Singleton has come on in the back half of the season. What patience by Troy Williams. This is really what's been lacking in this Utah offense. He stands all the way in the back, deals with the pressure, throws the ball through the wickets, and gets it to Singleton right on the edge. Good patience from both.
Devontae Henry Cole, the running back into the game, and he takes it here, bouncing it outside, getting one block, and spinning forward for another Moss-esque run before Nick Fisher brings him down.
Well, I like the fact they're getting Cole and McCormick, both of those guys under 200 pounds going, and they're getting those guys going on the edge, and then the changeup is Zach Moss on the inside, and it's really keeping Colorado's defense off balance. They're having a hard time tackling everybody running the ball for Utah right now.
Big block on that outside by the tight end, Siale Fakilo-Atonga as well, as Moss comes back into the game on first down, and they're going to feed him. Gets away from Edwards for a moment, then Edwards comes back with the help of Worthington to finish him off.
Yeah, usually a guy like Edwards, and I know he looks smaller because he's wearing a single digit, he's 350 pounds. And if a guy like that gets his hand, doesn't that number look so small? If a guy like that gets his hands on you, the play is usually over. And that's why Utah has been doing such a good job with their offensive line in the last few weeks. They're developing and getting better and better, keeping their backs clean. That time, Edwards got free and got right on top of Moss.
He's lost 35 pounds since the spring. He came in at 385. Here's Williams taking a shot, and he's got Singleton down inside the 25-yard line. He beat Dante Wigley to the 24 and a pickup of 40 yards.
Well, that is the second absolutely dime-like throw from Williams, who's taken great advantage of his opportunity as a captain to start here as a senior in the final game at Rice-Eccles Stadium. You can't throw it any better than that. He just ran right under it.
This offense hasn't skipped a beat without Tyler Huntley tonight. The fake to Henry Cole, and Williams breaks a tackle, trying to get to the edge and shoved towards the white mark by Isaiah Oliver.
Good job by Oliver getting on top of that play and preventing more. But it's a pretty interesting thing. For me, it's mind-boggling that quarterbacks in today's day and age are expected to drop balls in like that and be patient and work progression and throw it, and then run the ball right into a guy like Isaiah Oliver and have a violent run and break tackles and then come back and run the offense. Tim Tebow showed us the right way to do it for many years at Florida, and you just see it more and more now, these running quarterbacks that are just expected to do so much within the context of these offenses.
This is Moss bouncing it through a hole and picking up another Utah first down to the 13-yard line. Finally, Evan Worthington ended the play after 10 yards. But to your point, particularly in this league, Manny Wilkins at Arizona State, Khalil Tate at Arizona, just in the desert, they're facing off earlier today. You think about matching up with them, how difficult that can be.
Well, imagine coordinating a defense in this conference. You know, 1 week you're playing a guy like Josh Rosen, who drops back and throws beautiful balls, and then you're facing a guy who can run the ball in Montez, who can throw it well. There's a lot of variations, a lot of different offenses, a lot of innovation.
Cody Ippolito in the game, the fullback leading the way for Moss, who squeezes through the pile and gets down to about the 8-yard line. Rick Gamboa, the stop. Utah can pick up a first down at the 2-yard line. The 10th play of this drive coming up for the Utes.
And it's getting to the point where Colorado is going to need just to possess the ball a little bit to protect their defense. You know, these guys are starting to get gassed, and it's early in the game, but Utah is taking it to them with every ounce of physicality they have, and they're being very successful.
The Utes look like the team off a bye. Here's Williams, delay, into the end zone, touchdown Utah, and the senior getting the opportunity on senior day. Puts up the Utes by 3 scores. What a story for that young man. Was the starter all of last season. He got the C on his chest just days before he was told he wouldn't be the starting quarterback to open the season. And talking to the coaches this week, they've said he's been nothing but everything you would want out of the captain, Matt Gay, for the point after 3 for 3 on this game. They say Troy Williams has been an incredible teammate, and it must have been so hard for him. But here's the payoff.
Well, and when you get the running backs going and everybody's watching them, things are going to open up for the quarterback a little bit. You got one-on-one coverage, and Williams is able to deliver the ball beautifully that time. The threat of the running back just too much, and he marches into the end zone.
(21-0). The previous 6 meetings since these two teams came off their 49-year hiatus of not playing, Petros, and boy, it was missed. And they entered the Pac-12 together. They've all been one-score games, but Colorado's got work to do as Katie Nixon brings it out and into space and just about out to the 25-yard line with the forward progress. Time to go back to L.A. Greg Wolf, another game break.
Guy, thanks. We go back to Stanford Stadium. Who says the Cardinal offense is all about Bryce Love? KJ Costello. It's Dalton Schultz. Costello, 4th passing touchdown of the night to 4 different receivers. They've added another touchdown since. Stanford leads the Irish 38-20 fourth quarter. Back to you.
So everything going right for Stanford between that game and Washington taking care of business for them in the Apple Cup.
David Shaw always finds a way, doesn't he?
He sure does. Philip Lindsay, we saw him go into the locker room earlier. He's back into the game. Trouble for Montez, and he goes down. Bradley Anae and Filippo Mokafisi with the sack.
Filippo Mokafisi has been the vocal leader of this football team throughout the year. That time, Colorado wanted to get Philip Lindsay on one of those option routes on the outside as you see him go hot, but Montez, no time to look downfield or find his back. Absolutely swallowed by Mokafisi.
Second down and 18. And this is Montez running. Got a block, but Chase Hansen slams him down with Leki Fotu following after a pickup of 2.
This was just a quarterback designed run, a power play. They pull around the guard and the tackle and lead through with a fullback, and it's still not enough because the safety, like a missile, comes flying in. Chase Hansen making sure that Montez is on the ground. What a play, and now third and very long.
Hansen signed 5 years ago as a quarterback, making his impact as the quarterback of the defense. Montez setting up the screen to Lindsay. Fotu right on his heels, can't get him. And Lindsay squirms across the 30. Terrell Burgess at the 32, but shy of the first down. A pickup of 13 yards. And so the sack too much to overcome, and Alex Kinney on the punt.
I tell you, I'm very impressed with just the level of aggression from this Utah team. They expected Colorado to be aggressive and physical. That's their personality. They are more than matching it so far.
Ruby Hobbs back deep. Another booming punt. We've had some great punts. The special teams in this game great. Sends him all the way back to the 15-yard line. A 53-yard boomer. The Utes with the ball when we return. FS1 College Football is sponsored by Best Buy. Open this last. Well, Mitch Wishnowsky is going to try and make it 4 Ray Guy Awards in a row here in Salt Lake City. Tom Hackett the first 2. And the punter for the Utes won it last year. Here's Zach Moss right back to work. A hammer for 14 yards. Isaiah Oliver with the stop, and there is Wishnowsky. Won it last year, a consensus All-American.
They got so many Ray Guy Awards all over here. I was here a couple months ago with Coach Helfrich, who's in the studio tonight. He tripped over 2 of them just walking into the facility. They have them laying around like doorstops.
It's incredible. And you ask Tom Hackett about it, he'll say this guy, Mitch Wishnowsky, is much better than him. His Aussie brethren. First down. Troy Williams, patient, throws outside. Simpkins. A first down, a catch on first down to the 34. But last week, and Wishnowsky, Kyle Whittingham says is a weight room warrior. Wishnowsky picked up an unsportsmanlike penalty celebrating a 17-yard run on a fake punt.
Yeah, he spiked it.
Spiked the football.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Well, he didn't know.
No, they didn't
He didn't
tell
grow
him.
up playing American football. And Kyle Whittingham said he didn't realize he had to tell his punter that he can't spike the football. So he knows now. Here's Moss. Gamboa stayed right in front of him. It'll bring up 3rd down and 1 after a 4-yard gain.
This is a huge 3rd down in this game for Colorado if they're going to climb back into it. And they have the ability to do so. They've climbed back into games throughout the year, but they've got to get this defense off the field and get their offense some rhythm here.
It's Williams running behind Moss, a first down, making it look easy on the ground are the Utes.
Well, they pulled 3 defenders out with the bunch formation on the top of the screen, and then Williams taking advantage of the numbers and just leaning forward for the first down. Coach Whittingham has got his offense going with a senior captain and an unexpected start tonight.
Tyler Huntley, if you're just joining us, who came off maybe his best game of the season. Here's a reverse. Foltz gives to Simpkins. He wanted to throw it, looked like. Now he's going to pull it down and run. Williams is out there near the first down marker where they mark him. Michael Matthews finally on the stop, but after all that misdirection, a 9-yard pickup.
Yeah, Troy Taylor trying for the early dagger in this football game. A double reverse pass. Damari Simpkins did want to throw it. He tucks it in, and he's holding it out there in a dangerous kind of way. There you see Coach Taylor just having a good time calling all these wacky plays. When you get almost a first down on a botched double reverse pass, you know your offense is going pretty good.
2nd down and 1. It reminds Troy Taylor of coaching Jake Browning in high school, where seemingly everything worked. Williams deflected, and it falls harmlessly. Nate Landman got a hand on it. His 2nd deflected pass of this game already. Night and day for Troy Williams. Not just what he's done this year, what he did in the meeting between these two teams last year, the game that Colorado won for the right to go face Washington in the Pac-12 championship game. He was under 50% in that game. He's really struggled. He's been about 50% in limited playing time this year, but he is 7 of 10 throwing the ball so far tonight. 3rd down, and the ball is loose. Troy McCormick fell on it. McCormick might have gotten the first down. He's wrestling with it. Gamboa has it. We'll see what they mark here. It looked like McCormick had it controlled, but they give the ball to Colorado. Huge break for Colorado getting off the field. They give it to the smaller back on a 3rd and short, trying to catch the Buffs off guard, and he gives it up. Rick Gamboa wrestles it away, and Colorado finally finds a way to get off the field by forcing a turnover on a 3rd and short. They brought in the fullback and everything. I think it was Ippolito that was carrying the ball. Oh, there you go. Yeah, they gave it inside to Ippolito right off the bat. And he never really quite had the handoff. There you go. They tried to catch him off guard with the fullback, not the smaller back. The fullback, Cody Ippolito, who also plays linebacker, and Landman knocks it out. Gamboa comes up with the recovery. Huge for the Buffs. So they are reviewing the play.
After further review, the running back was down. The offense will keep the ball. There is no change of possession. It is 4th down, Utah.
Let's bring in our rules analyst, Dean Blandino. What'd you see there, Dean?
Yeah, so what they were looking for, it was clearly a fumble, but they were reviewing who recovered the loose ball. And if you see number 4 on Utah, he's actually going to possess the ball on the ground. He's down. And then the Colorado defender is going to pull it out. So that's a good overturn. The other thing they have to consider, very tricky. The other thing he has to consider is where was the ball in relation to the line to gain? And it was short of the line to gain. So it's still going to be a 4th down in this situation.
Colorado still gets off the field, but I don't like those sneaky linebackers. The back had it. He was on the ground. You can't take it from him there. Blow the whistle. You saw it, guy. I didn't see it.
Spoken like a true ex-back.
Thanks, Dean. Ronnie Blackman waved the fair catch. That ball nearly chased down by Kenrick Young as it bounds into the end zone for a touchback. Wisnowski jogging off. He's been so good this year. 2nd in the nation in net punting. 2nd inside the 10. In fact, a quarter of his kicks land inside the 10, but wasn't able to squat that one down on the doorstep. And so back comes Montez.
And this is a huge moment in the game for Colorado. The defense finally did their part after what looked like a spirit-breaking drive to go up 21. They get a stop, almost a turnover, but eventually force a punt.
Philip Lindsay, no. Montez keeps it, and he's got a first down, and he slides down at the 33-yard line. Bradley Anai in pursuit.
And Montez has looked sharp at certain points in this game, especially being able to escape and elude people and run the ball down the field. Nice fake to Lindsay that time and a good read.
He's been hurt by a couple drops. There's Bobo in motion. This is Philip Lindsay through a hole, slithering his way, and tackled by Cody Barton. Out to the 37-yard line. Coming up on the State Farm halftime show, Mike Hill and Mark Helfrich. in LA, Alabama, how about that, the Iron Bowl? They lose to Auburn and Ohio State tops Michigan. That's all coming up. The State Farm halftime show. Philip Lindsay could have been stopped in the backfield, was able to break away for a moment from Hansen and at least get back to the line of scrimmage, maybe get about half a yard for the third down here.
That's a battle between two very willful players, Chase Hansen and Philip Lindsay. Neither guy wants to give up in that situation. And another big moment for Colorado. Do they keep it on the ground to Lindsay, try to throw the ball to him, let Montez do it with his legs, or get this deep receiving core involved?
1 of 5 on third down tonight. This is Devin Ross, end around and a first down.
Well, that's one way to involve your receiving core. They get it to Devin Ross, another one of the senior receivers that Colorado has a very deep position group. 43 receptions coming into this game. And they get him on the end around, and Colorado stays on the field. Very imperative for them to do so.
They will have the ball first in the second half if they can march down and score here. Lindsay with a flag in. Barton with the tackle. That flag landed around the interior of the offensive line. We had a penalty to start this game on the kickoff, but other than that, fairly cleanly played, at least in that category.
And it's been physical.
Personal foul, chop block, number 64 and 73 of the offense, 15-yard penalty, third down.
Well, they got Aaron Hagler and Isaac Miller. Somebody's engaged and somebody chops them down. That is illegal. And they call this. Here it is right here. Yeah, that's going to get called every time. Hagler's got him, and then Miller chops him down. Nice call by the officials. They could see it there pretty well on the edge.
Peter Tonga was the victim on that. So now it's 1st and 25. Montez gets away from Mokafisi, pointing, and can't get rid of the football. Barton, like a missile, comes flying in for the sack.
Well, Cody Barton has made the last 3 tackles from scrimmage. Once they put him in the game, he's a local guy out of Salt Lake City. First, just an absolute breakdown in protection for Colorado. Everybody coming, and Cody Barton, who came in at the end of the Arizona State game and made like 7 tackles, earned himself more playing time. He's out there making more plays. There's Coach Morgan Scalley, the defensive coordinator, one of the best coordinators in the country, in my opinion.
2nd and a 3rd of the field to go. Philip Lindsay, a helmet off. Bradley Anae with a flag down, and there are 2 questions here. One is, did his helmet come off as a result of a penalty? And if not, he cannot continue in the play unless it's the immediate action, which that might qualify as. But this looks like it might be going back the other way and that it will be a penalty against Colorado. Anae is racing off the field, though.
Personal foul. Hands to the face, number 76 of the offense. Half the distance to the goal. 2nd down.
So just as I said, it's been pretty flag free. Colorado picks up another penalty.
Thanks
Jeremy
a lot,
Irwin. My bad, Pete. He's 76 there. Yep. Rips it off.
Pretty easy to see. And Anae gets a chance to show everybody how cool his hair looks.
Well,
As a result of losing the foul, the helmet via the foul.
So they're going to keep an eye on the field.
that's right. You can continue if the penalty is the reason the helmet came off, and that was the case. So if it was a 3rd of the field to go the last time, it's almost half now, Petros. 2nd and 43. They need to get to the 44, just about. And that won't do it. That's a pickup of 2 yards. Chase Hansen. And I wonder here, knowing that you're going to have the ball first in the second half, what do you think of that 2nd down play to not move the ball down the field?
Colorado's in a tough spot. There's not a lot of plays in the playbook for 2nd and 42. There's just no plays in the playbook for 2nd and 42. Maybe they thought they'd catch him off guard and gash him a little in the run game there. It certainly was recognized by the Utes and taken care of immediately.
So now 3rd and 41. Montez underneath to Bobo. He's got blockers in front of him, creating at least a little space as he gets out to near the 26-yard line. Donovan Thompson Cody Barton on the stop. But back to Barton, who had a big series. Morgan Scalley, there he is, the defensive coordinator, lit up when you asked him about Barton because he plays the way Morgan Scalley plays.
Taking their first time out of the half.
Utah takes the timeout.
Well, he's got to be happy with the way his guys have played, really not allowing Colorado to get anything going consistently, and that's the real key to coordinating well.
A minute 50 remaining in the first, and Utah in control.
Coming up on the State Farm Halftime, I'll be joined by former Oregon head coach Mark Helfrich, who tells you whether or not Colorado or Utah is closer to getting bowl eligible. Plus, number one goes down and Ohio State loses JT Barrett, but still beats Michigan. We got all the highlights coming up, all at the half. But right now, back to you, Guy and Petros.
All right, Mike. Happy to have a break. You and Mike spent all day together in the studio.
It's glorious.
You were on every time I flipped on the TV. Ruby Hobbs receives the punt and nowhere to go. A 48-yard punt, no return. Coming up tomorrow, Week 12 continues on Fox. Most of the country will see MVP frontrunner Carson Wentz and the Red Hot Eagles host the Bears. Check your local listings for the game in your area or stream it live on Fox Sports Go. MVP frontrunner?
Which one?
Wentz? Brady?
I like Wentz.
All right.
I'm always going with the youth movement. I met Tom Brady in college, and it's hard for me to get over how good he is now.
1:43 remaining here in the first half. Troy Williams over the middle, complete. Darren Carrington, his second catch of the game, a 16-yard pickup and a first down.
They haven't needed Carrington that much. He is their most explosive playmaker, especially out there on the perimeter. He's been banged up, but getting ball down the field to him on first down. Utah's threatening again.
He's in the slot to the bottom. Williams looking that way, and he's got Carrington back-to-back catches, lunging for the first down. Gets marked shy. Drew Lewis prevented the first down, and so second and short.
They had Drew Lewis running with Carrington, and that is a linebacker on one of the better wide receivers in the conference, and that is a matchup that Troy Williams recognized right away, getting the ball to Carrington 2 plays in a row.
Second down and less than a yard for Zach Moss. Plenty of space with defenders on his back. Timothy Coleman riding him to bring him down inside the 40 to the 34-yard line, a 15-yard run. And this could be a back-breaking drive. Utah's already over 300 yards of offense here in this first half.
Every one of them kind of seems like that. Every run takes a little football out of Colorado.
Under a minute now. Underneath, Carrington steps out of bounds near a first down. And I think they're going to give him the first down. Nick Fisher there for the finish. Move the chains again.
And it's really the arrival of Zach Moss in this football game and how much he's been able to take football, like we said, out of this Colorado defense that opens up everything else for Troy Williams. But to his credit, he's been very patient back there. He's been looking for receivers. He's been working his progression. And Troy Taylor's caught a real rhythm calling plays.
Moss at the bottom and going that way. He can't hang on the spiral from Troy Williams. Moss 123 rushing yards in this game. In addition, a catch for 25. And Kyle Whittingham's team, if there's any question about how they respond to a tough loss, it's remarkable, Petros. The men in red have lost 6 of 7. Don't look like that now. Churning, Moss, bodies everywhere. What are you doing to him, number 2?
He is just taking the football out of Colorado in this first half. They're going to hope he doesn't come out for the second half. It's been an absolute clinic on how to run the ball physically. He's not that concerned about both hands on the ball because he's just knocking everybody around with that offhand, and they seem to be clawing at it, but good ball security.
Plenty of time here, but they won't need it. Troy Williams, high stepping in.
pretty simple. If you can't tackle the back, the zone read game is going to be pretty lethal, and it has been twice now for Troy Williams. Pulling the ball and taking it across the goal line himself. What a night on senior night for the captain of the team getting to start. Have to be happy for that young man.
4 rushing touchdowns, 2 from Moss, 2 from Williams. Matt Gay 4 of 4, and Utah is over 200 yards rushing in this first half alone.
Pretty simple zone read play. Everybody goes to Moss, including Nick Fisher, the strong safety in the backfield. And you just see how it freezes everybody. Offensive line washes down the rest of the bulk inside. And no problem for Williams, a senior out of Carson, California, Narbonne High School, home of the Gauchos.
Well, after that Gaucho career, to this day, it was a long road.
No doubt.
He was
Started
a
out
Husky,
in Washington, yeah.
Gaucho to Husky to junior college. Do you know the...
I do not.
You don't know Santa Monica College? That's right up your alley.
Santa Monica City.
You got no mascot?
I don't.
Swoop to a Ute. And a long road, certainly. But this night has to feel worth all the work that Troy Williams has put in. We said it could be a back-breaking drive. And maybe it has been here before the half. As that sails out of the back of the end zone. Colorado has 23 seconds and 3 timeouts. They will get the ball first in the second. Try anything here?
I think at this point, if you're Colorado, you got to regroup and get into the locker room and start to look in each other's eyes and say, did we not want to play tonight? What happened to us, guys? We've got to find a way to at least find our courage and pride and come out in the second half and stand up to this Utah team. Coach Mack is a good coach and a willful coach, and his team just did not come out ready to go tonight. They got physically handled from the jump, and it's been that way the entire half.
Well, they don't look like the team that's coming off the bye.
No, they look rusty. There's no doubt about that.
All right, well, in that sense,
rest versus rust.
George Frazier, number 5, lead blocking for Lindsey. 2 yards there, but this defense right now is hyped. Donovan Thompson and Cody Barton.
I think Utah got the feeling that Colorado just wanted to get off the field as well.
And that's indeed what's going to happen.
One more love tap on the way out.
That's right. There's been a lot of that from both sides. Utah's been delivering the big blows on defense and on offense. A crushing, running performance. Zach Moss, 163 rushing yards all by himself. And a 28-0 Utah lead. So, the Utes in control in Salt Lake. Coming up next, we'll send you to L.A. Mike Hill, Mark Helfrich with the State Farm halftime show.
All right.
A first half that was all Utah here in Salt Lake City. 28-0 as we look ahead towards the third quarter. Colorado will receive the football first, but they have a deep hole to dig themselves out of. We welcome you to the booth. Petros Papadakis, Guy Haberman. Great to have you here with us. The winner of this game becomes bowl eligible. Right now, it looks like it's going to be Utah. We talked about it beforehand, Petros. Both these teams talked the talk this week. They were all ready to roll. Utah walked it in that first half.
Oh, man, they came out ready to go. They were hitting on all cylinders from the second they took the field, and they really took the game, the violence of the game, the physicality of the game, and that's how both these teams want to play. But, man, did they take it to Colorado right off the bat. Troy Williams getting the ball to Zach Moss, and he has been an absolute terror for this Colorado defense, running people over. There you see the strong safety victimized by Zach Moss. This is not a replay. That's another play that he runs over McIntyre to get into the end zone. He's been wildly physical. That's opened things up in the quarterback run game for Williams. He's got a couple touchdowns. And guys like Filippo Mokafisi, Cody Barton are just wreaking havoc on this Colorado offense. Colorado, uninspired performance to say the least.
Imbalanced numbers, 21 first downs. 21 first downs to just 6 in that first half. But as we say, Colorado with the football first here to start the second. Now we take a look at those first half stats, Petros. You see the 21 first downs.
Wow.
4 drives that resulted in points for Utah, all of them over 65 yards. 3 of them over 70 yards. And each touchdown on the ground. Zach Moss with 2 rushing, Troy Williams with 2 rushing. And keep in mind, this is a game that Utah, right before the kick, announced they would not have Tyler Huntley, their starting quarterback. Here's Bo Bisharat taking the fake, and so it's Steven Montez running for 5, make it 7 yards on first down. Julian Blackman runs him towards the sideline.
And Coach McIntyre is a prideful coach. You know, he's a guy that wants his team to be physical, to match the challenge of a team like Utah. This is a proud program now. We're talking about the winners of the Pac-12 South last year. They don't look like it today.
Philip Lindsay trying to inspire, but this has been the story of the first half. Filippo Mokafisi on the stop, and it's another 3rd down for Colorado, which was, well, a problem for them in the first 2 quarters.
Coach Mack's team obviously lost a lot from last year's Pac-12 South Championship team, but this is not an excuse for this performance. This has been a rough one.
Steven Montez on 3rd down and 2 with Jay McIntyre in motion. Montez keeping, nowhere to go, stonewalled and stopped. And the Utes pick up where they left off. Filippo Mokafisi, the captain, the redshirt senior. We talked about Lo Lotulelei, but Morgan Scalley says you talk about one, you have to talk about the other. They've been the 2 leaders of this defense.
Yeah, number 93 Lotulelei and number 45 Mokafisi, brothers there right in the middle, and the Colorado offensive line is getting absolutely 0 movement on that Utah front. Now those guys are hard to move, but they are absolutely stuck in the ground so far tonight in Rice-Eccles Stadium.
They started the game with a 3 and out. They start the second half with a 3 and out. And so Alex Kinney back on the punt. And Booby Hobbs sent backwards, and he is knocked down and tackled. A great special teams play. K.D. Nixon, who returns, also able to finish off that 58-yard punt and drop Hobbs for a loss of 1. Kyle Whittingham, who loves special teams, not happy with his starting field position here. But once again, Troy Williams, take a look at his first half, and it was dominant. 10 of 14, 138. He ran for 2 scores. Zach Moss is 15 yards shy of matching a career high set against UCLA earlier this year. And there they are. And here is Moss on first down, dancing his way through the hole. And Rick Gamboa and Nick Fisher. Gamboa 32, making his 37th straight start. The junior captain, the team leader in tackles. And he is the captain in terms of understanding of this defense. And they need to get off the field here and get that offense back on, because it had to be an exhausting first half for the Buffs. This is Samson Nakua with his first catch and a first down. Evan Worthington there for the stop, but what looked so difficult for the Buffs looked so easy for the Utes.
Well, when you get the run game going, everything opens up and it becomes very easy to call plays for Troy Taylor. Very simple movement play for the quarterback. He gets it out to Nakua. Now Troy Taylor has the convenience of trying to get the ball to all the different guys and spread it around.
A quick throw, and that is complete. That is Carrington out to the 30-yard line. Nate Landman with the tackle. Darren Carrington with his 5th catch of the game, and that's a pickup of 8.
And again, that playbook is just opened up wide for Troy Taylor, because Colorado's done very little to resist Utah. Now, they haven't given up a ton of gigantic plays, not gigantic home runs, but Utah's just grinding away, getting good gains, everything they do. Except for that.
And it almost, the turf monster has to make the tackle for Zach Moss. Landman got a hand in. There is Troy Taylor, and his first year as the offensive coordinator here was with Bo Baldwin of Eastern Washington, of course, last season. And it's been at times disjointed on offense this year for the Utes, but they felt like they hit their stride last week where they scored 30 on Washington. Rolling and can't complete it. Just behind Simpkins. I thought maybe he was going to squeeze it with one hand.
Looked like he had it, but unable to pull it down as his eyes kind of came off the concentration of catching the ball behind him. A rare mistake in this game for Troy Williams with the ball behind Damari Simpkins. And lo and behold, Colorado forces a punt. We get to see this great punter. We haven't seen him much.
You wondered if we'd see Mitch Wisnowski again in this game. And there he is, trying to pin Ronnie Blackman in his own territory. And a big leg. Look at this thing hang. And Blackman's going to have nowhere to go as he brings it in at the 27-yard line. A 43-yard punt for the Ray Guy Award-winning hopeful for the second year in a row. Buffs back with the ball. Big-time college football doesn't get much bigger than this. Number 9 Ohio State taking on number 5 Wisconsin in the Big Ten championship game as Montez is incomplete on first down. I know you're looking forward to that. Coming up next Saturday, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on Fox. We'll stream it on Fox Sports Go.
Is Wisconsin going to get some respect?
I know that's the team you had them in.
Did
you
I?
have them in, yeah. I watched. I'm holding you to it.
I want him to finish. Undefeated in the Big Ten. Finish it up.
Montez, Jay McIntyre, his second catch near the sideline. That looked like a replay of his catch in the first half.
Yeah, just one of the small bright spots in the first half for the Buffs. Jay McIntyre, obviously related to the head coach, has become a very reliable option for his Pops. 25 receptions, 348 yards coming into the game, a couple touchdowns. That gives them a little spark.
2 coaches with their sons on the team. Alex Whittingham, the short snapper for Utah. Here's Montez looking for McIntyre. He's looking for a flag, and it comes in. Looked like Javelin Guidry, who was in coverage. The fire hasn't left Mike McIntyre despite this 28-0 hole.
Well, I'm sure he had some fire for his team at halftime as well.
Holding of an eligible receiver, number 23 of the defense. 10-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Penalty on Julian Blackman. Take a look.
Well, there's Blackman out there on the edge. He doesn't touch anybody, so we had it right to begin with.
Correction, the foul was on number 28 of Utah.
There you go. And another little jolt in the arm for the Buffs. Let's see if they can capitalize on it.
First down at the 42. Philip Lindsay dancing and just cannot squeeze through that hole. It seems to close quickly. Donovan Thompson on the stop.
But if I was going to be able to feed one back in this conference in the second half of a game where I'm being beaten, it's Philip Lindsay. He brings it the same on every drive that he can. Nice tackle by Thompson there, but Lindsay's going to keep coming throughout the game regardless of the score, and maybe he can find a way to fight his team back into this. Maybe.
That was his 10th carry. This is his 11th. There's a big hole. Getting a block from Bobo, getting around him for a first down before Ballard runs him out of the 25.
So a little bit of daylight now opening up for the Colorado offense with the holding call and the pass play to McIntyre previously, and now 2 runs for Lindsay, and he really presses that edge and tries to find it up the sideline. Knocked out of bounds for a good gain.
13, his longest of the game. Montez looking, wants underneath. Chris Bounds, the tight end, dancing inside the 10 into the 6-yard line. Corian Ballard on the stop there, and now things opening up a little for the Buffs.
Well, Lindsay really kind of stretching things out with the wheel route, and this time they do bring the tight end underneath on the drive route and get him the ball.
Meanwhile, Corian Ballard is down on the turf near the near side sideline on the 5-yard line.
Donovan Thompson, the Mike linebacker, went all the way with Philip Lindsay and did not recognize the underneath throw to the tight end till much later. And that's the second time in the game that call has been made by Brian Lindgren, the offensive coordinator of the Buffs.
1st and goal after this. First trip into the red zone of the game for the Buffs, and they're going to hand to Philip Lindsay. Spinning his way down to the one, and he's in. Touchdown. And maybe the fire is not gone for Colorado.
Well, they give it to their Tasmanian Devil to run angry. That is his nickname. And Philip Lindsay takes a little bit of that frustration out on the Utah defense in what was a pretty good drive for Coach Mack's team coming out in the second half and saying, hey, we're still here. So there you go. A nice drive by the Buffs. Let's see if they can capitalize on it by forcing Utah off the field again.
First opportunity for James Stefano, who missed a field goal early in this game, but this is first point after, of course, and that's right through. And so Colorado on the board. They went 3 and out to start the game. They went 3 and out to start this second half, but when in doubt, go to Philip Lindsay, his 36th career rushing touchdown.
Yeah, pretty simple. They got Hagler coming around, pulling. And he tries to take a chip off of Hansen, and then everybody gets involved, pushing Lindsay into the end zone. He was sitting on somebody's chest, so his knees weren't down. Here he is right on top of
Luafatasanga.
Luafatasanga, yes.
Well, it's quite a story. He's trying to avoid playing his last game of his career. He was the first recruit of Mike McIntyre's era, and he was recruited on a bad ACL, a torn ACL. He ran for 120 yards the third game of his high school senior year on that torn ACL, and then also blew out the rest of his knee, the PCL, the MCL gone. And Mike McIntyre told us this week he wasn't sure when he signed Philip Lindsay if he would ever play for him. But of course he was recruited initially by the former assistant Eric Bieniemy, who's one of the greatest running backs in the history of the program.
A heck of a running back coach.
And he's in Kansas City now with the Chiefs. And he saw something in Philip Lindsay, who told us this week that his last two were Utah and Colorado. And the young man that was a Denver kid, went to Denver South High School, wanted to stay home and help his Buffs get back to where they once were, back when the man that recruited him was leading the way for a career high all-time yardage mark.
You know, and here's a guy in Lindsay who's 5'8", 190 pounds. He's always had to earn it and prove it in every single situation that he's been in. He's always had to climb his way into the position that he's in, and it serves him well. What a great career he's had.
Troy McCormick out of the backfield. Afolabi Laguda cuts him down, a loss of 4.
I wouldn't mess around too much if I was Utah. I would get back to what was working in the first half, and that is Zach Moss running the ball and the zone read with Williams and Zach Moss. This just a quick throw out on the edge, trying to get 5 easy ones to start out the drive, and they start out instead behind the sticks because of very alert defense.
Moss off. Devontae Henry Cole, who ran effectively for 32 yards on 4 carries in the first half, comes into the game.
Tech 19. Tech 19.
Tech 19. Henry Cole, huge hole. First down, dragging Lewis out across the 45 to the 44-yard line.
Now this is what has gotten it going all day for Utah, just their base run. And they do it out of a shotgun, nothing too physical. Zone blocking scheme. You see a nice cut block there by Uhatafe. And Henry Cole looking physical, like Zach Moss finishing that run. And now we have a Buff down on the field. That's Rick Gamboa, the captain and leader of this defense. Their Mike linebacker. That would be a gigantic blow to Colorado and their confidence going forward in this second half.
Well, he said this week, we told you this is his 37th straight start, but he said this week the key to this game would be to tackle, because Utah gets so much of its running production on yards after the carry, the quarterback running, and and the running backs breaking tackles. And even without Tyler Huntley, that has held true.
Well, we talked to Coach DJ Elliott, the new defensive coordinator for Colorado, replacing Jim Leavitt, and he said the importance of tackling these big backs was going to be a real key in this game. But they haven't been able to tackle that guy, Troy Williams. They haven't been able to tackle Zach Moss. Little guys like Henry Cole are breaking tackles, and Colorado's had difficulty tackling all night long. There's Coach Elliott, played his college ball in Wyoming.
He was at Kentucky the last 4 years. And his defense trying to figure out Worthington. Has Henry Cole slipped through his fingers, and there is Leo Jackson III, the senior from Decatur, Georgia, who's been an effective player for them all year long, but that might be his first tackle of the night.
Came into the game with 58 tackles, 5.5 sacks, and leads the team. There you see Henry Cole getting it going a little bit, 63 yards in a backup roll over behind Zach Moss.
Those are Bryce Love numbers too per touch. Here's Moss again, battering his way for 5 hard-earned yards. Evan Worthington, Derek McCartney, and that looks like the rugby pileup that Mitch Wisnowski's used to.
Now that's the face that those Buffs do not want to see in the second half. That's the guy you just get tired of tackling. They were having a hard time tackling him in the first quarter. Here in the third, if they continue to feed him the ball, he could very easily take the will out of Colorado's defense.
First down and 10. Moss is back there with McCormick, flanking the quarterback Williams, who's going to throw. And he lines it down the middle of the field over the outstretched fingertips of Darren Carrington.
Carrington a little slow to get up. But a lot of injuries for him this year. Kind of a struggle to get out onto the field.
Had that lower leg injury against UCLA 3 weeks ago. He missed the Washington State game. He returned in the cold in Seattle last week, although intermittently.
And a pretty nice throw by Williams, just a little far, double coverage on Carrington. Colorado came into this game wanting to drop 8 guys to kind of confuse the quarterback, but they've been getting run on so much it doesn't quite matter.
Troy Williams adjusting at the line. Here's Henry Cole again, cutting it back, eluding a couple defenders before Isaiah Oliver brings him down.
Yeah, he kind of got flushed by the official right into Isaiah Oliver, and that can happen from time to time. Good tackle by Oliver, and it sets up a 3rd and short. Now, Colorado did have some success in the first half getting off the field on a 3rd and short, but Utah's threatening is going to get a kick here at least.
Cal Whittingham with 3 tight ends in the game. Blocking for Moss, who patiently waits, breaks through for a first down, and Lewis wrestles him down to prevent another Moss breakout.
Well, they brought in Cody Ippolito, the fullback / linebacker, who did have a fumble earlier in the game, and you see him 48 come across the formation, and then you just see Moss dive in there violently into the line of scrimmage. He was not going to be denied that first down.
And a new career high, now 160 yards on the ground, surpassing the 153 he laid down against UCLA. Akilo Atanga and Hanley fumble. Williams fell on it. A loss of 3, but he was able to beat Laguda to the ground, and Laguda is slow to rise.
You know, I'm surprised that doesn't happen so much more in college football today, as the prevalence of the zone read has just become almost universal. Almost every team has some kind of machination of the zone read, and you have a mesh between the back and the quarterback, and eventually somebody's got to take that ball. I'm very surprised that ball doesn't end up on the ground like that a lot more.
So 2nd and 13 now. 4 wide with Moss back in there, looking for Simpkins, who snags it at the 20. and wrestles down at the 19-yard line. Dante Wigley after a pickup of 7 with the tackle.
Great job by Simpkins making that catch and then trying to make a move kind of in the same motion as making the catch. And conversely, a really nice job by Dante Wigley staying with him and making sure he wasn't able to shake him. Look at Simpkins make that catch and then immediately try to dive back to the outside. Good job by Wigley staying with him.
3rd down and 6 to go. They need to get the 8th. We talked to Troy Taylor about these situations when you have a great field goal kicker like they do in Matt Gay. How does that influence the play calling in the red zone or near the red zone? To the air here, and Singleton unable to bring it in. Isaiah Oliver celebrating a great play.
They have liked those vertical routes, attacking the edge. Every time they get around the 20-yard line, that's the 2nd time that Troy Taylor has tried for that. Pretty nice release by Singleton, but Oliver in great position that time. Very good coverage by the junior out of Goodyear, Arizona.
37-yard try for Matt Gay, who is the Utah record holder, 25 field goals made this year, and he's been fantastic. He's been a 50-yard ace, and so this is an effective chip shot for him, and that is good. The Lou Groza Award finalist tacks on. It's 31-7 here in Salt Lake. FS1 College Football is sponsored by Dr. Pepper, the one fans crave. It's been a gorgeous day, turned a beautiful night here in Salt Lake City, and the Utes in control. Just had their first possession that went into the red zone that didn't result in a touchdown. They were 4 for 4. They added the field goal, and this is Ronnie Blackman bringing it out for Colorado after they just scored a touchdown on their previous drive. Matt Gay, along with Mitch Wisnowski, the 2 specialists. Wisnowski, 33, he had a toothpick in. And that's a comfort level that is certainly rare. The 2 of them will travel together.
That's a punter's comfort level.
We'll find out if one of them won the Lou Groza and one of them wins the Ray Guy. So here's Steven Montez coming off a career high 376 passing yards 2 weeks ago against USC. Petros, he's 7 of 15 for 97 in this game. And there is Philip Lindsay running into a brick wall named Bradley Anai with help from Kavika Lua-Fatasanga.
And Lindsay can only do so much. I mean, he can only take it into the line of scrimmage. But if you got guys like Lua-Fatasanga all up in the hole, you're not going to get the yards you think you're going to get. You're not going to move Mokafisi inside, Lotulelei. These guys have been so stout, and they've rushed Montez. They haven't been able to protect him well. This Utah defense has really shown up. Let's see if they can recover from giving up a touchdown drive. I know they don't like doing that.
Montez to the air, and that's complete. Winfrey's second catch, and Hobbs gets a shoelace to keep it from being any more than a 14-yard gain. But that does move the chains. And you wonder if Winfrey can get off. He had such a huge game against USC 2 weeks ago when he had catches of 57 and 79 yards that resulted in touchdowns. Montez with the pump. Comes back the other way. There's Bobo wide open, unattended along the sideline. And now into Utah territory before Javelin Guidry wrestles him out in a pickup of 28 yards.
A little bit more breathing room here in the second half for Steven Montez to drop back and get the ball to some of these wide receivers. They have an embarrassment of riches in Colorado as far as wide receivers go.
That's why they thought this offense would be so prolific this year. Montez threw it looking for Frazier, who was not looking. He was blocking. And so it'll be second down. And clearly a miscommunication. Maybe it was Bobo. Perhaps Frazier was blocking Petros because it was a screen for Bobo.
They had a screen on, and I think that the screen was supposed to be to Bobo, but there was some kind of miscommunication between Montez. Montez has had trouble anticipating throws, not just in this game, but throughout the season. Everything's just a skosh late, and that comes with maturity, but they're going to have to shore that up, something they're really going to need to concentrate on going forward with this quarterback. He's got a lot of tools.
He's got a second down and 10 here. And he hands to Lindsey. Big hole, but filling it was Sunia Tautioli, who returned last week from injury. Sunia Tautioli, 26 years old, the 10th oldest player in college football. And this hole looks wide open until he fits right in it.
Well, it was just him and Lindsey in the hole, and you see Tautioli just keeping an eye on the hips of Lindsey, not letting himself be juked at all, and then making an aggressive tackle and wrapping his arms. That's pretty textbook.
Third down jump is on. 3rd and 7. Pressure coming. Flags down. Movement up front. Did Corian Ballard sneak across the line?
Well, he was the one that anticipated it.
76 of the offense, 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
I think it was Jeremy Irwin moving a little bit, that left tackle that really enabled Ballard to time up that blitz. And they're lucky the whistle blew here because Ballard was going to hurt Montez. You saw that movement, the left tackle.
So that creates a 3rd down. Back them up to just shy of the 40. They need to get down to the 27. So it's 3rd and 12. Montez down the field into trouble and overshoots it all. He was looking for Devin Ross. 4-down territory.
They might be in that situation. Here they are past the 50, and they're a little bit past playing the field position game in this one as we head toward the 4th quarter. They're going to go for it.
They've gone for it 24 times this year. That's a lot.
It'll be interesting to see if Utah can get home toward Montez with a 3-man rush. They've been able to get a lot of pressure without sending anybody.
You saw the number on the screen, 50% on 4th down, but most of them likely not 12-yard conversions. Here comes extra pressure. Lindsey picks it up, and that pass is caught by Winfrey. A 1st down to the 21-yard line. What a big-time throw from Steven Montez.
And Morgan Scalley does bring the heat. Does not come with his base defense. Montez able to stand in there while the blitz is picked up, and they get the ball to one of their bright stars of the future, a very confident player, Juwan Winfrey. Nice play by him.
19 yards when they needed 12. Montez. Here comes trouble. Fotu, he gets away from him, but not from Anae. The team leader in sacks racks up another.
Anae's been very good. When they have Kylie Fitz on the other end, Utah has been absolutely lethal rushing the passer over the years. And Kyle Whittingham's career, Anae is just another one of those guys. They pride themselves on getting after the quarterback, stopping things up in the middle, getting after the quarterback on the edges, man coverage, playing you toe-to-toe.
3rd sack for the Utes. Makes it 2nd and 18. There's Winfrey again. Past the original line of scrimmage and slithers his way to the 15. Lua Fatasanga there on the stop. But you're right to point out Kylie Fitz not playing in this game. The redshirt senior, such a big part of this defense, made his way all the way from UCLA where his career began. And they are hoping if they play in a bowl game, he'll be able to play one last game as a Ute. 3rd and 5. It's Winfrey at the top, lined up with Hobbs. Instead, it's Montez keeping, and Montez has a 1st down. Behind the block of Hagler, it looked like, out in front. Burgess and Barton on the stop.
The old speed option. You don't see that very much. Steven Montez with an option, it looked like, to pitch it to Philip Lindsey, and that's what attracted most of the attention of the Utes defense. He put his foot in the ground and got upfield. Another nice drive by Colorado here, really marked by Juwan Winfrey's brilliance catching the ball.
He's the inside receiver of the 3 to the top of your screen on 1st and goal. Montez empty, design run, backpedaling his way down to about the 4-yard line. Donovan Thompson and Bradley Anae there to meet him. And it's 2nd and goal after a pickup of 3. And that likely we'll see. Is Montez going to walk this off? He will. Happy to let the 3rd quarter run out. And so Colorado showing signs of life in this 3rd quarter, but so far 7 points to show for it and a chance at 7 more. Mike McIntyre, Kyle Whittingham, 1 quarter left. Only 1 advances to bowl season. Take a look at our game summary as we begin the 4th quarter. It was a 14-point first quarter for Utah. Colorado scored in that third quarter. And Steven Montez has gotten going a little bit on these last two drives.
Yeah, Mike McIntyre must have channeled his inner Vince Lombardi at halftime. He got this offense going, and the defense has played a little better, forcing a field goal. Let's see what they can do.
Right in front of the Muss on second down and goal to start the fourth quarter, looking for their second consecutive scoring drive. And Lindsey stopped by Bradley Anae.
Yeah, he did a good job getting to the feet of Lindsey before Lindsey could really get his body set, his pads headed toward the line of scrimmage. Anae's doing a great job diving into that backfield and making plays.
Another third down jump.
Less shaky than it was in the first quarter when everybody was here. But Colorado showing some life here in the second half. Make it interesting here with a touchdown.
And now a timeout taken by the Buffs with a big third down for them coming up after this. Third down and goal for Mike McIntyre. As the crowd revs back up after the timeout, George Frazier lines up in front of Philip Lindsey, a lead blocker at 280 pounds, and now he shifts towards the line of scrimmage. Montez fakes, following bounds, and he's into the end zone. With tight ends lead blocking, Aaron Hagler, the guard, threw the block that opened the hole, and Steven Montez scores back-to-back touchdown drives for the Buffs, and now they're going for two.
Really nice design on the play from the co-offensive coordinators Brian Lindgren and Darren Cheverini. A lot of movement there. They lined up in a very traditional eye with the big fullback, getting those eyes big for the Utes. Then they fake. Then they fake an option and then come back around with the quarterback run. Very nice design and a good play inside the 5 for Colorado to score. And here we go. Let's see what they have dialed up for the 2-point.
4 wide. Philip Lindsey not on the field. Montez looking, and there is a drop. Bobo, his third of the game, right in his hands.
Tough break for Colorado, who's finally got some momentum going, and Bobo having a tough one.
But a great drive for Colorado, trying to scrap back into bowl season. FS1 College Football is sponsored by Dr. Pepper, the one fans crave, and by Dave & Buster's. Eat, drink, watch only at Dave & Buster's. Steven Montez on the phone after an effective scoring drive. You take a look, the discrepancy between the first 7 drives, 122 total yards, no touchdowns. The last 2, 151, 2 scores, a rushing touchdown for Lindsey, and then most recently a rushing touchdown for Montez. Damari Simpkins takes the line drive, and he's going to bring it out for Utah, running up the back of Cody Barton and out to about the 22-yard line. Let's take a look back, Petros, at the 2-point conversion that could have made this a 2-score game.
Everybody's got a few plays dialed up. They had Bobo coming to the back of the end zone, and nobody went with him. A nice throw by Montez, and he just could not complete the play. Very uncharacteristic of Bryce Bobo, redshirt senior. Played a lot of football here at Colorado over the years. Been responsible for 34 first downs coming into this game, but just wasn't to be there.
Devontae Henry Cole getting the carry. First offensive possession of the fourth quarter. Chris Malumba on the tackle and slow to rise. Now this has been a punishing game up front for these Buffs. They have gotten a steady diet as we near 40 rushing attempts for Utah.
That would be the diagnosis if I was coordinating this offense. Of course, I'm not. I'm terrible at it. But Troy Taylor, I would run the ball as much as I could to Zach Moss.
Troy Williams is going to throw it to McCormick. It was underthrown. and Gamboa was able to recover. And Williams missed the potential for a big play.
And here you have a third and relatively long situation. That's kind of a big situation now for Utah. They don't want to give the ball back to Colorado, who's had 2 straight touchdown drives.
Well, no Tyler Huntley, who did not start as the quarterback, banged up in the Washington game. They're hopeful if there is a ball, if this score holds, perhaps he could come back for that. But boy, Troy Williams, his last game in this stadium, that last throw notwithstanding, has done a fine job tonight. Here's a third down. Williams steps into pressure. That ball whistled dead, arm coming forward, incomplete. And so now Utah will punt.
Yeah, Colorado here in the second half has really done a good job for themselves, other than one field goal drive from Utah. Colorado's done a good job, and here they bring some pressure. Hasselbeck gets his arms up and gets them all over Williams, unable to complete that throw.
First 3 and out for the Utes. And now Ronnie Blackman back deep for Mitch Wisnowski. And this one's spinning, maybe off the side of his foot. Uncharacteristic.
Wow.
That ball doesn't get to midfield. When do you see a shank from Wisnowski? It's very rare.
You wonder if the Utes have been a little bit lulled to sleep by the fact that Colorado was so uncompetitive, especially physically, in the first half of this game.
And now the Buffs get it back after a 22-yard punt, and Colorado not done yet. After Mitch Wisnowski's 22-yard punt, best starting field position of the night for Colorado. First down and 10 in Utah territory. Montez to throw on first down. Flush from the pocket. He's going to tuck it and run. He's got some space, and he steps out of bounds at the 42-yard line. A scramble of 6.
That's the best you can ask for if you're Colorado and you're not getting the time in the pocket that Montez needs just to set his feet and look downfield. The rush has been incredible. Guys like Bradley and Lotulelei really putting a lot of pressure on Montez almost every time he drops back.
Second down and 4. Here's Philip Lindsay. And Lindsay pulled down by Chase Hansen on his back. And that'll bring up a third down and short. Just about 1 to go. A long one. And Colorado in a rush. Right back to the line. Right back to Philip Lindsay. A first down as he jumps through inside the 35-yard line. 5 yards. And now we are seeing the third straight drive that has some rhythm after it had been a 3-and-out fest for the Buffs offense.
Yeah, I like how they got back up to the line of scrimmage really fast and got the ball to Lindsay before Lotulelei was really able to get set.
Not substituting. Montez looking. Line drive caught. This time Bobo squeezes it. Booby Hobbs right on his back, but that's an 8-yard pickup.
Well, if Colorado's going to make a comeback in this game, and they're trying their best, Bryce Bobo's going to have to make some plays. And that was a good job on both levels. Bobo making the catch, and Montez anticipating the throw and getting it out almost before Bobo's break, which is good for him. 2nd and 2.
Philip Lindsay takes the fake. Instead, it's Montez down the field. Jay McIntyre couldn't make what would have been a spectacular catch right in front of Javelin Guidry, a step on his heels.
Well, now that Colorado's getting a little bit more room going in the passing game, and Montez has been able to complete some balls, they are able to try to exploit some of these one-on-one matchups. We talked about how deep they are at wide receiver. They're putting 4 or 5 guys out there in the route, and Montez can pick them. That ball just a little far for McIntyre to stretch and get it. It would have been truly spectacular, guy.
3rd down and 2. K.D. Nixon, the motion man, and he's going to take it. Reversing field from Montez, and he's got the first down and a little extra down inside the 15.
I'll tell you what, between Winfrey, who's a junior, and K.D. Nixon, you know, they're making you forget about these senior wide receivers, Shea Fields, Bobo, Devin Ross. This K.D. Nixon, we've seen him on special teams, just a freshman out of DeSoto, Texas. Very nifty on the edge there, and a nice play call.
Jared Coe and Chris Bounds out in front blocking First down and 10 at the 14-yard line. Montez looking. He wants Bobo. He doesn't see a Nye, who strips the ball away, and Cody Barton recovers it. And the Utah defense steps up.
Bradlee Anae with just a textbook dive at Steven Montez, making the tackle with one side of his body and slapping that ball out with the other. And very opportunistic Cody Barton with the scoop and attempted score. There you see Anae blowing right by Jonathan Huckins and just making that play with his hands. Good awareness by Barton to get it.
Well, we talked about for both teams, there's been so many guys needing to be replaced this year. And Bradlee Anae maybe had the biggest challenge, replacing Hunter Dimick, the leader of Sac Lake City. And he has been fantastic this year, and Anae has been great in this game, Petros. 8 tackles, 2.5 sacks, and now that forced fumble. And here is Zach Moss right back to him. And he is just small stepping his way across the 40 for a healthy gain of 8.
Montez on the phone, probably doesn't like what he's hearing there. Tough situation. He did not see or feel Anae. He was looking downfield at Bryce Bobo, like you said. And if I'm the Utes, this is what I do for the remainder of the game on first downs or second downs and shorts to keep Montez sitting down as he's become a hotter passer. I'd get the ball to Zach Moss and just keep feeding him.
What a heartbreaking moment for Colorado after back-to-back touchdown drives, and looked at their great starting field position like they weren't going to be stopped.
Especially after that third down play by Simpkins.
Here's Moss again, breaking through, second and third level. And into Colorado territory, Wigley and Worthington. And it takes more than one to bring down Zach Moss, who now is over 1,000 yards rushing for the season.
Watch him whirl his way through the pit. I mean, he's using his upper body. He's swinging his arms around. He's protecting that football. Moss is starting to find his confidence. I remember after the USC game, Troy Taylor asked him, when did you become Superman? Because he really ran the ball violently against what is obviously a star-laden USC defense. And then he had some up and down moments after that. This is one of the great up moments of his football career tonight.
A career high as he nears the 200-yard mark, although not on this play. That'll take 4 away. Nate Landman, who's been good for Colorado in this game, making another play.
Nice call dialed up there by DJ Elliott, trying to take some of the steam out of this Utah run game, and they have been getting it across the formation, and that does enable Nate Landman to blitz it and make a play. There's Coach Elliott.
Not been able to take the ball away. Just 10 interceptions on the year. Utah does not have a turnover in this game. After the loss of 3, it's 2nd and 13. Taking plenty of time. The play clock was expiring.
Coach Whittingham explaining to the official on the sideline. He was trying to call a timeout, I believe.
He doesn't look like he likes what he's hearing.
Saying, I tried to call a timeout, but I don't see any flags. And now McIntyre's out past the white.
If he came onto the field to call that timeout, he would have gotten
Utah's
a flag
taking their
for
first charge timeout of the half.
There you go.
He wins
30
the argument.
seconds in length.
In football, you can talk a bit. You know, baseball, they're not hearing any of it. Football,
especially when you're an ex-BYU linebacker that's swole like Whittingham. Don't mess with that guy. Ooh.
Well, without Tyler Huntley starting tonight, the run game, which is a big part of the Utah DNA anyway, has been ramped up tonight, Petros.
Yeah, Zach Moss is really taking the reins, and they've gotten other guys involved too. The smaller, faster guys, McCormick and Henry Cole, have also gotten the ball, but Zach Moss has really been the straw that has stirred the drink for the Utah offense tonight. Violent running, good ball security. I think they should have given it to him a little bit more in the third quarter. That 23 should be about 27 right now, and Utah might be a little closer.
You saw career highs in yards tonight and on the season, and now to the air. Darren Carrington inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. Laguda got there after the pickup of 22 yards. And now Carrington, who was slow to warm up to this game, we've seen him more and more as the night's gone along.
As Zach Moss has gotten going more and more, exploiting that one-on-one coverage. And even though he's up against Oliver out on the edge, Utah still liked the matchup and got it to him. But I think if they got Moss the ball a little bit more in the third quarter, you wouldn't have seen the Colorado comeback that we saw. Let's see what they do here with another first down.
There, Carrington and Oliver lined up at the bottom on first down and 10, with Moss taking it from Williams and going nowhere. Landman again, the first man there, along with Gamboa.
Starting to dive that Jack linebacker into the line of scrimmage. Nate Landman, out of freshman, out of Danville, California, just a freshman, but doing a good job getting into the backfield a couple times on this drive to stifle that first down Utah run.
You saw the numbers for Moss, 23 carries. Doesn't it feel like 40?
It feels like a lot more, because every time he carries the ball, he's carrying about 5 or 6 guys with him.
And he breaks a couple tackles. He's standing back there with Williams right now. That's Singleton at the top, with Carrington, Simpkins, and Nakua at the bottom. And Williams reading. And that ball deflected. Worthington got a hand on it. And yet Moss picks it up and turns it into a positive play. And he's still on his feet. Have a night, Zach Moss.
Well, Williams had him. He had him on that option pitch, and he had the defender committed to him, and he just waited an extra split second to make that pitch, and the pitch ended up in the ground. But Moss, like you said, guys, just unbelievable live body, picks it up and gets it going. That's where the pitch has to happen, right there, not a split second later. But Moss uses good patience, and he's still breaking tackles.
Unbelievable.
We have a buff down.
It's Rick Gamboa, the second time that he's been down.
You see that hand tap drill? You see how he used his hand to keep his feet going? That's a big-time running back move. Zach Moss might have a real special year if he can stay healthy going into 2018. We'll see what he can do, but he's really come out and shown that he can really grow throughout the season as a runner in this Utah offense.
Initially committed to Miami before his high school teammates Tyler Huntley, Damari Simpkins convinced him to join them in Salt Lake.
Bit of a change.
Yep.
From Hallandale Beach to the beaches of Salt Lake.
That's right.
There's Huntley.
They've been loving being together. As Gamboa walks off, Huntley's whole family is here. His parents, Ricky and Regina, came out for the third time this year to watch their son. And boy, what a game Gamboa has played. What a season he has had. This score holds, and this is the final game of the year for Colorado. The junior who came in well over 100 tackles to lead the team this year. And they say that there is nobody smarter on the defense. That young man knows everybody's job on every single play, and without him, it is a different defense. So here is the D without him on third down and 6. This drive started after Steven Montez was fumbled, was sacked, and stripped of the football in the red zone.
Took all the momentum out of Colorado. Colorado was really having themselves a half. About to score their third touchdown of the half, and Utah made a big defensive play.
Third down and 6 to go. Play clock winding as they milk. Williams, pressure, and he is tossed down by Derek McCartney, coming in for the sack and pushing the line of scrimmage back to the 30, which would make just past the 30, make about a 47-yard attempt for Matt Gay, which is well in his range. He leads the nation in field goals of over 50 yards. 5 of 6 from 50 plus this year.
Good stop by Colorado and the forcing of this kick, but a pretty nice drive by Utah, getting some positive plays after forcing the turnover. Good chance to put more points on the board here with Gay.
Officially make it 48 yards. He's already hit in this game from 37 out of the Wisnowski hold, and this ball just pulling right down the middle. Dog leg left for Matt Gay, and after Colorado made a bit of a push, the Utes feeling back in control, just under 6 minutes away from becoming bowl eligible. On Fox, it all starts with Oklahoma TCU, the Big 12 title. That's noon Eastern. Here comes Katie Nixon out of the end zone for Colorado and run out of bounds. So Oklahoma, TCU, the Big 12 title. That's noon Eastern after college basketball. Then in prime time, Buckeyes and Badgers Big 10 championship game at Indy. Until next week, Super Saturday on Fox. Where will you be?
I believe I'll be in the Dallas Palace, the Jerry Jones Dome, for the Big 12 championship game on the sideline.
I look forward to that. 3 weeks after Oklahoma won in Norman against TCU, Baker Mayfield went for 333. What's Gary Patterson going to have for him the second time around?
Oh, he'll adjust. He's good at that.
So after the Matt Gay field goal, Colorado back onto the field, turned it over on the last drive, taking a shot down, and Booby Hobbs nearly had a one-handed interception. Laviska Shenault, the intended receiver.
Nice play call, and they really did give Shenault a chance, but Booby Hobbs, who runs very well, was getting the hand out and making the play. Could have been a little further out in front of him.
You're right. Fastest man on the team right there, 4.3840. The punt returner on special teams for Utah.
The most colorful dreadlocks in perhaps all of the Pac-12.
And your favorite name on the team. Trevon Hobbs. There is Shenault with the catch. Lowers his shoulder to get near the first down marker. Hobbs pulling himself up off the turf, and Montez in a hurry here with 5.5 to go. The score belies the fact that Utah, making Colorado, just had three straight really good drives, 2 resulting in touchdowns before the last resulted in the strip sack.
Really had some momentum going.
3rd and short. And there is McIntyre with the catch of the first down, and Hobbs connects with him along the sideline after the pickup of 7.
Very difficult to move the ball consistently, throwing it, dropping back almost every play against this Utah defense, because Morgan Scalley's defense can get to the quarterback with a 3 or 4 man rush. And we saw it a little earlier with Anae forcing that fumble.
Montez again to throw, and that ball is incomplete. McIntyre got crunched by Corian Ballard, who's been flying around tonight on defense.
Montez loaded up and throwing a bullet.
Tautioli get a fingertip on that?
Yeah, really almost got McIntyre destroyed. Ill-advised throw by Steven Montez.
So now 2nd down and 10 to go. Montez 14 of 27, just under 200 yards throwing tonight. He claps and pumps and throws, incomplete. Cody Barton broke it up.
Yeah, Barton did a good job of kind of floating back into the throwing lane and dropping. Right now they're dropping 8 guys, trying to get Montez to throw a pick, and he was close there. 3rd long. Yeah.
They picked up a 4th and 12, did Colorado earlier in this half. Here comes Hobbs with pressure off the top. Philip Lindsay ran where he came from, but Cody Barton was able to hog tie the star running back and make it 4th down and long. 4th and 7 now upcoming for Colorado, and they're leaving the offense on the field with under 5 minutes.
That's not an easy guy to tackle, and Morgan Scalley's defense did a really good job of staying on top of Philip Lindsay and rallying to the ball. That time Cody Barton with a very sure tackle.
Winfrey at the bottom. They need the 45 as Ross goes in motion. Montez corrals the snap, steps up, pressure. Barton got a hand on him and brought him down. Cody Barton. And a turnover on downs for Colorado.
Just said Cody Barton's been a sure tackler. That's about as sure as you can get. Get a 6'5" quarterback down with one hand. And Morgan Scalley, the defensive coordinator, absolutely loves that.
Of course, a man that played at Utah and has seen so many come and go. The seniors in this group, 22 of them on this team on this senior night. There is Kylie Fitz. What a long road for him. Filippo Mokafisi, one of the captains on this team. And how about Lowell Lotalale, anchor in the middle. What a night it's been for Troy Williams. Got to start the quarterback in place of Tyler Huntley.
Always nice to see senior night. A lot of work goes into doing this.
A little pushing and shoving and some frustration afterwards. But we talked to Cal Whittingham this week about what this senior class means to him. And he said a couple things. One, that this year, through all the adversity, it was this group of 22 seniors that ensured that there was not any spiral, that the group did not cash it in, and we've seen that tonight. Certainly there was none of that. And the other thing he said, and this is very important, he made the point, this was not the group that came into the Pac-12 in 2011, but in the guts of the transition when it was time for Utah to win the football games, these seniors, the 4th and 5th year guys, are the young men that had such an impact. An impact like Zach Moss, who does not stop. No let up.
Another great run by the kid out of Florida, and he has certainly earned his keep for Utah tonight, and they've just had a lot of success running across the formation and getting off tackle. Zach Moss has just been great. You know, you're talking about Utah and their transition into the Pac-12, and they've never won the Pac-12 South, but they've been the most competitive to win it year in and year out, and that's a credit to the way they play people. They just play them toe-to-toe. One of these years, they are going to break through.
Here is Moss again, 10 yards shy of 200, and he picks up 3 more, inching closer. But it's a great point. They have consistently been a bowl team when they were not in the Pac-12, and then in their transition to the Pac-12. This is going to be 11 in 13 years under Cal Whittingham.
And everybody has won the Pac-12 South, but Utah. But they have been the most competitive in the conference. They had the best chance the first year when Colorado beat them right here in Rice-Eccles Stadium. John Embry was their head coach.
That was the first Pac-12 win of the year for Colorado that year. Here's Devontae Henry Cole. Apparently, Zach Moss does take a rest. And Henry Cole's been very good in this game as well.
You know, it's an interesting point you made about the way Utah has bounced back. They've had a lot of really hard losses, and it's hard to look in the mirror after you had a 2-point conversion to beat USC, or you had Washington in position to win both road games. You come home empty-handed, but that's never been a problem for Kyle Whittingham's team. Just the balance on this team of guys that are coming back from LDS missions, or young guys, or different guys from the islands. The way they take care of each other is just amazing. He's got a great culture here, and they always bounce back and play hard.
Troy Williams running behind Cody Ippolito, and he is pulled down just shy of the goal line by Evan Worthington.
Really, always been impressed by the balance of this Utah team and the structure that Kyle Whittingham has built. And despite the tough loss again last week, here they come again with a nice victory, it looks like, at home. And those quarterback runs have worked very well, mostly because of the success of the running backs early in this game.
Jordan Howard now has come into the game, the running back wearing number 20, and in a show of some sportsmanship with under a minute left, and to keep everybody healthy for their bowl game. What a night, a senior night to remember for Troy Williams, starting in place of the man that replaced him to start the season, Tyler Huntley. And he was 15-24, threw for 180 yards, protected the football tonight. A handshake for Kyle Whittingham, who's going to go to his 11th bowl in 13 seasons as the head man at Utah.
And extra practices for Kyle Whittingham, a better chance to continue to develop this young quarterback of the future, Tyler Huntley. But what a nice day for Troy Williams to be able to come out and lead this team as a captain after losing the starting job, getting the start tonight, and really being spectacular for the Utes.
A night he will not forget. The C on his chest. You talk to the folks around the program, he certainly earned it, and they earned this win. On the other side of things, the defending Pac-12 South champs miss a bowl.
Yeah, they miss a bowl. Disappointing for Coach Mack. Last year, so much success, so much fun to watch that team. They just lost too much to reload quickly. But Utah moves on after some disappointment this season to get to a bowl game.
And another chance to watch Zach Moss. I know he's on your radar. He's been on your radar, but this game, 196 yards, 2 touchdowns. Feed the beast.
He might be the next back of the future for these Utah Utes if he can stay healthy. And with an electric quarterback like Huntley and Moss and an offensive line basically coming back, losing just a couple guys, you have to like Utah's chances again to be very competitive in the Pac-12 South.
Well, they had lost 6 of 7. Did not look anything like that team here tonight. 34-13. They defeat Colorado. The Utes are bowl eligible. We'll be back in Salt Lake City after this on FS1.